Now let's look at the issue of the tenure of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun. That is one controversy that is generating reaction. Well, some activists took that up and said, look, we can't keep quiet on this. The IGP ought to have been gone, I think, since September or so. He attained 60, so we thought to have said, okay, farewell. We did this big pull-out parade, everyone clap, the wives and everybody clap, and the next man next to him becomes the IGP and all of that. But the question is, there is also a school of thought arguing that those activists really have not been properly schooled of what the process, the procedure, and the amendments are talking about here. But the activists are loud, they're loud. They got social media, they got those who share, those who tweet, those who retweet, and all of that. So this morning we'll be looking at the controversy over the tenure of the Inspector General of Police. And we'll look at matters arising here. Well, I've now been joined by one here. Well, the pre-presentation, pre-mortem we had together was really very, very wonderful. And I can tell you, you're going to enjoy this interview segment here. Honorable Ginika, the Federal Commissioner of the Federal Character Commission. She's representing Enugu State at the Federal Character Commission. You're welcome to our studio, Honorable.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with, I want to start with this, but I'll come to that. Okay, we'll talk about the freedom of information, people saying whatever they want to say, and you want to talk about that sometimes it got some limitation. You don't just say what you want to say and hurt people at will and go away. But now let's start with the IGP's tenure. The argument by Showore and his group is that the IGP, according to them, now not me, not ITV, that is currently an illegal IGP. Do you share that?
Well, that's an insult to Nigeria.
Okay.
And I say that because when you are an activist, you have lawyers to guide you, so you should be well informed.
Okay.
So when you say IGP, we have illegal IGP, you are telling the world that Nigeria has got illegal IGP. So you should get your facts and laws correct. He is a legal IGP by law. So I don't know where to get that from, because if you look at section 215, the president has got the power to appoint.
Correct.
To appoint the IGP, right?
Correct.
Fine. And then it says upon the council, the advice of the police council, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure that was done. Now, there's a bill in 2024 that, corrected the lacuna that existed in section 18, subsection 8, where it talks about the tenure of 35 years in service or 60 years of age, and it says notwithstanding. So is there a law that gives the IGP right to say he's legal? Yes, there's a law in place. You didn't fight that law. When it was proposed, you didn't say anything. When it was enacted, you didn't say anything. It's the bill. That's the Police Act Amendment Bill 2024. You didn't say anything. So it means that as the IGP is sitting there, he's sitting legally, regardless of the tenure. Meanwhile, I used to ask, when I listen to all the men, because I've only seen men on the media sphere talking about this IGP Showore controversy. I haven't seen a woman really. When I listen to the men,
sometimes women are busy.
Yeah, but when I listen to the men, I hear them say things like, yeah, he's an illegal IGP just because you want to defend your person. But you're not looking at the fact that, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Civil servants, are you employed or appointed?
Employed. But there's argument that the IGP is also employed.
Employed. But that is to the stage of DIG. He ends as DIG.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you use the word in section 215, appointment, you become a public servant. So you are no longer seen as just police officer, okay, or as civil servant. So whatever law you think applies to civil servants no longer applies to appointees, just like us. We can be, I'm a federal commissioner and we have 80 years there. That is because it's an appointment. So why don't they get the facts right before taking to the television?
I'm not sure that they are looking at it from the fact that we all rose through the ranks. We are classmates at the police college. We joined as cadet and we followed through the process. And now you have been appointed as IGP. We're expecting that when you get to 60, you leave because you know that guys need to come in and become head boy.
Okay. We are all appointed.
Good.
But we are no longer in the same level.
Okay.
We were all appointed as civil servants.
Yeah.
Employed as civil servants.
Correct.
Let's use the word employed.
Agreed.
And then I am now appointed
Fine.
to this position. It means that I am no longer bound by the law that holds you as employed civil servant.
Yeah.
Do you get the point now? That is it. So the IGP can no longer be seen as civil servant. Meanwhile,
but he will still be seen as a policeman.
Not that. No, even at
they want to
that.
see
Yeah,
him
he can be
as
seen
a
as
policeman.
Yes. Just but in order to ensure that this thing doesn't bring conflict or misinterpretation, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who has got the political know-how, that okay, should these things be done right, we need this to be done correctly. Let's take care of the lacuna that exists in this section 18 sub 8. Do you understand?
I get you.
Where it is 35 years in service or 60 years. And he said, and then now he proposed a bill that was passed in 2024. So it means by law, the IGP is legally sitting as IGP. That is what the public need to know. So I don't know where these lawyers are getting their own information from. Is there a law that protects him? Now they are looking at the law that it is done because of him, but they forget the fact that the president will not be there for more than 8 years.
But the question some are asking here, there are school of thought that believe that some persons around the police may also be sponsoring these boys. I'm sorry, we're not saying anyone is sponsoring here. That because when you are a federal commissioner and the time comes when you need to become the chairman, the overall chairman of the Federal Character Commission, by virtue of your ascension, if this man is staying 4 years, imagine all his juniors would have retired. Most of his juniors would have retired. The DIGs would have almost all been gone. Some AIGs would have been gone. And it's just like, hey, guys, it's time for you to go. And we're waiting to get there.
Well, if it is your turn, nobody will change it. Was he right? Do you remember when Adamu was in Imo State? By the time he would leave that assignment to get back to Nigeria, he was removed by Buhari. Put yourself in the shoe of so it's not tidy. The tenure arrangement is a more tidier platform and is a more tidier arrangement for the IGP. Imagine you are IGP, you just get in there 6 months. You haven't even done your work. If you have projects, it has not come to fruition, and then you are somewhere. By the time you get to the office, you are removed. Is that the best? So we Nigerians should be looking at what is the mischief role in whatever law that is put. We should not always base it on it is because of selfish interest. Everything is not about selfish interest. If I do something for selfish, the president did it for selfish interest, will he be the president forever? It means that this law applies to whoever is going to be the next president, right? Yeah. So for me, I think it's time here to have tenure like 5 years.
Yours have always been tenured.
Yes, tenured, 5 years. So in that 5 years, if there's nothing we're able to achieve, we'll know that it's our fault because we've been given time. So for the effective performance of the IGPs, I believe that section 18 sub 8A, it's essential to take care of the lacuna that exists. Do you understand? Then you talked about the belief of other, the lawyers or the general people that he's not supposed to be there.
Well, there's an argument here of getting most of the officers demoralized. When you got to 60 and you are taking additional 4 years, and maybe Atta and Ginika are waiting as DIG or AIG, whether you like it or not, we feel that this man is taking our tenure.
Okay. Do you have one DIG?
We have a number of them.
Okay. How many will become
one
IGP?
And if he stays 4 years, they may all have retired.
It's turn by turn, right?
What about if it takes their turn?
It could have also turned in your own time that you become the IGP. Do you understand?
But this man got 4 more years now, and by that 4 years,
some people would have retired, right?
The other names would have gone.
Hey, they are not meant to be the IGP. But we Nigerians need a tidier platform in the police system for us to achieve the best. And I listened to Malaki. He said he's impressed with the way the IGP carries along, even though he does not believe in the fact that he's the IGP. But he likes. So what do we Nigerians need? We need an IGP who is human, who is sensitive, who is kind, who is up to his work. And that is what the president is trying to achieve. Not just for himself, but for Nigerians. This is what we should be looking at. That's why I asked you, how many TIGs do we have? So will all of them become, would they?
But at least,
why?
She wouldn't believe that it's his right to freedom of speech.
Showere's lawyer, he mentioned section rule 367 of the police rules and regulations. For me, rules, yes, even when enforceable, when justiciable, is still an administrative guide. Now, they now come back to say you can't approbate and reprobate. At the same time, they came back to say that section 39 supersedes whatever acts, right?
Yeah.
That's the same way. Section 45 and 46 supersedes the whatever police 367 that prohibits the police officer to what? You understand? Now, that rule, cannot supersede the section 46 of our chapter 4, that's a fundamental right of the IGP to seek redress when wronged. Should he have punched Sowore?
But they say he would have just maturely lived the other way.
No, let's get this thing.
No, right. But you've heard that before. Someone has said that.
I heard it, but it's wrong. Is that why people should go all out without facts and figures? And then you just feel that because you have been granted in section 39 of our constitution freedom of expression, so you should go and abuse government, abuse me. Like somebody wrote something and said, sponsored by the minister from Enugu State, Uche Naji, and he wrote, Ginika went naked. He went naked at Ken Namani's place just to make sure that money is shared to them. Who says a thing like that? You don't have proof. You have your right to freedom of expression, but there are limitations. And if you read section 45 of Malaki said something about that, but he didn't open the eyes of the public to section 45, where it says that, hey, this section does not invalidate him.
But if
the section, any law in a democratic society, any law, meaning that the cybercrime act, section 34, where it says when you knowingly know that this is going to cause chaos, it's going to cause havoc, it's going to cause abuse, it's going to mislead the public, and then you went ahead to do it, you are liable. He's completely liable. Do you understand? Because even if you say the constitution is supreme, but the same constitution established the president to appoint, not employ. I keep using that word. He's not a civil servant, he's a public servant.
But the head of service that employs reports to him. If we were to tie all together, the head of service reports to the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, our focus now, you understand. Yeah. So then you now go down to, you don't tell me that with that you do not have an understanding that first, you shouldn't say what you don't know. And
but sometimes they say within the limit of knowledge they carry.
My dear,
I think that's what sometimes the OONI told Febalola before the case was withdrawn.
Which case to withdraw? You see this case, this particular IGP and so on should serve as a deterrent to even us. Me, I'm an activist. If you look at federal character issue, I say it the way it is.
But you cannot do an activist when you are in government.
I say no, it depends. There are two things: activism and being on the path of truth. I've always been on the path of truth, and I have my proof.
Maybe someone will say that's why they give you federal character. You would have gotten something very juicier. Maybe you would have gotten a juicier position more than character commission, because this one is to go and fight for justice of balance. If you had not been an activist, you would have gotten a juicier position.
I like to fight for balance. I like to fight for justice. I like to fight for the people. I like to balance the imbalance. It's a passion for me. Everything is not.
But must Ginika fight all the time?
When Ginika doesn't fight. Ginika only defend.
But that's not what some persons hold. Some believe Ginika fights.
Yeah, I don't fight. It's just that you don't take away my rights. And I know where my rights and limitation lies.
That means Ginika fights.
I fight too. Hey, I fight.
Now you're accepting the fight.
I fight back when you come looking for my trouble.
Okay.
I don't go fighting you. If you look at every situation like me, imagine after all I did, you now hear something like Ginika suspended from APC. How? These people were not there for the president. I was there. I risked my life in 36 states. I went to my polling unit. I mentioned the president in my polling unit. They were not. They cannot even. I had the highest vote in Enugu state. It's 28. Let anybody bring any count above 28, and I will tell you they have a right to abuse me. But regardless, if you don't,
so are you saying in all of this controversy now, the IGP shouldn't be a big brother? Say, Shawari, you're my younger brother. Don't do it next time. Just let's go.
This is not a big brother thing. If it's not an IGP issue. This is Nigeria matter. IGP is a figure we have in the police. Yes. So if he goes to say, "Oh, my big brother, don't do it again," that means he's indicting himself now. What are you trying to hide? He knows that he is sitting on that position legally, and he needs the public to understand that he's sitting on that position legally. If Sowore has no malicious intention, why go on air to start calling somebody? It was a personal abuse. You are talking of right to freedom of expression in 39, but you are abusing the right to dignity in 34. You abuse the right of 45. You abuse his right in 46. Is there anywhere where the IGP is omitted from seeking redress in our constitution? There's no place. Did the constitution say seek redress in 46 except the IGP? Did it say so?
No.
So what has rule of 367 where police officer, even if he's a police officer, where is that rule now supersedes the constitution as they also posit? Do you get my point? Yeah. So to me, I just want to advise that people should get their rights, they should get their limitations before they go all out against any appointee of the government or even the government in whole.
But some are saying that police act that was amended during the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, where many persons believe that this whole thing started from, should be repealed, that the IGP should go when he attains 60 or 35 years in service, so that he will give room for other persons that, as far as they are concerned, that amendment done by the former administration upon which the other one was built was done in error. That they just let it just be an accession process. You get there and you.
So they preferred the section 7 sub 6 that says the IGP is expected to stay 4 years without further.
They don't want that. They just want the procedure.
It's not about what they want. It's about what the law posits.
But because some guys who were smarter and wanted some things before amended it without the public being so conscious about it.
But they were not the ones who did the section 7 subsection 6 that left a lacuna there, and they were not the ones who did section 18 subsection 8, right? And then we are trying to correct, to say, look.
Now, what they want to correct is what we are still discussing. That's the problem. Some persons are discussing.
It is still being discussed. So why go all out and refer to somebody as illegal? My God, my brother say, if I am the IGP and I'm supposed to be speaking to multitudes of 1,000 persons, and in my mind, my subconsciousness, in my mind, I remember somebody calling me illegal, how do you think I'm going to feel?
You're a policeman, you should be strong to stand.
We're strong. I am policeman, but I am human, and I have my mental.
You mean that what can demoralize the IGP?
Of course, his right to dignity of person has been infringed upon. His right to seek the redress in section 46 has been preached upon by those who come out to say he has no right because of one rule of 367. I disagree. So we should get these facts right, because we can also be in that position tomorrow. And you are talking about those who are supposed to leave. Everybody cannot be IGP, and we are saying it's tidier, and you know it's tidier for us to have tenured program for the IGPs, where they can now to enhance the competitiveness and attractiveness of the police system. You don't bring a project in a day. You are there in Imo State and you are removed, and the project will come to fruition.
But what asks the question? How would the IGP feel when, in short while now, the likes of Abalachiroma and others will be retiring, who are his junior? How will he feel? Within these 4 or 5 years he will be in office, your junior will be retiring and you will still be there.
Okay. are these fingers equal? When they retire, they are not tired. Appointments can still come. There are other areas where people can be pacified. But that's why I ask you, how many DIGs do we have? Will all of them become IGP?
But at least one of them should be taken.
Well, at least one of them. That one of them is still the person sitting at top to ensure that Nigeria system is more stabilized. Do you understand my point? So why should we overlook this side because of bias, sentiment of how the system is, which I believe that the system may look like it's not looking right, but at the end of tunnel there's light. I always tell people, I say, the difference between this president and every other one is that he has refused to hide things from Nigeria.
Okay. As my time flies now, before I let you go, I the Federal Character Commission. With what you are doing now, you look like somebody who is already deep in a looter. I hope you will not be disturbing the head of service when it comes to the issue of employment.
Well, I am not the chairman of Federal Character.
But you are a commissioner, and sometimes some commissioners are more powerful with people like you who are bringing a looter into public appointment. One will be asking a question, are you not sure you will be disturbing? You will be disturbing the head of service and others who do employment within government side. Are you disturbing anyone?
Like I said, I'm not the chairman. Even when I desire to disturb, not really disturb, to ensure that they do the right thing, I don't have the power to do it.
When you sit with the chairman,
even the power to ensure the balance in my
but you've seen where chairman in FCC have said, look, my commissioners are not allowing me to work. They are disturbing me. Are you not sure you will be one of those disturbing the chairman? I
cannot disturb the chairman, but I remain on the path of things should be done right. And I always have my proof. But I'm hopeful that the system will look into Federal Character and get things rightly going. Because as far as I'm concerned...
But how do you check that? When they are employing, we know sometimes the customs are employing, these are employing, and people cry that, look, there is gross imbalance. How do you check that?
I am not the chairman.
No, but you are a commissioner.
But
you work there.
We have been deprived of our duties.
Why? Who deprived you?
It's a story of another day. But it's been on air.
Because everyone believes that as a honorable commissioner in Federal Character Commission, that you must have a say and ensure that there is a balance of the seized geopolitical zones when it comes to every single appointment, employment, and other within the MDAs. And telling me now that you are not doing that, or someone is depriving you, is a question that some will be asking, who did that to you? Tell us. Nigerians want to know.
You want to know? But it's been, I've been here, I've been on air talking about it. You
are saying we should leave that for
another time.
For another day.
When you need me for that, I'll be here.
Okay, but it's shocking that a federal character a commissioner of the Federal Character Commission
has been deprived of her duty to ensure balance.
Deprived to ensure balance because everyone believes, even with some of the employment announced by MDS, we thought by now the commission.
I've never given any. But I've not even been shown any.
But you know that people will be asking you questions. Am I the first to ask you that?
No, you are not the first.
Everyone is asking you that.
I never failed to say the way it is that I have been deprived of my duties. So.
Okay.
Because if I don't say, it means that I'll be stoned by my people. So they need to know that I've been. Because
you are there to represent them and ensure.
I don't see files, so how will I ensure?
Why don't you see files?
Because it is like like I don't know how to put it. Don't worry. When you need,
I am worried, and I'm sure everyone watching us here are worried because we believe that at some point we have lopsided employment in MDAs, and you were appointed to ensure a balance in that. If that balance is not on, and you are not allowed to ensure that balance, that fairness.
Ask the House of Rep. They were there. We're on public hearing. Ask them the result of that public hearing before I can go further. I think they know the truth.
Okay, we have not been able to.
Because we didn't hide anything.
We've not been able to unravel that. But we will come back. We will bring you again. We will know why you have not been allowed to do your job. We will know how you have not been able to check the imbalance when it comes to it. Because some regions, some states are saying, when employment is going on, we are not carried along. This side we get all, this other side we get all, we don't get anything. We will come back to this and ask you, because we are shocked that in all of this, Ginika, the fighter, is now being asked not
I'm not
to.
the fighter.
No. When we say fighter, it's not in a bad context. Ginika, the fighter, is not being allowed to do her job. Okay, we thank you very much for staying with us. We have a very sometimes when you are doing this and you have a very lively guest on set, you enjoy it very much. One of the very finest from Enugu State. She is Honorable Ginika, the Federal Commissioner in the Federal Character Commission. She represents Enugu State. She owns a very vibrant, she leads a very vibrant group as president. That's the Ibokwenu group, and a very passionate member of the All Progressive Congress. The only problem she has, and the one I think she will be having, is that sometimes when you are around government and you speak so bluntly, I just pray we'll pray for you. We'll keep that and put you in. We thank you very much for coming on the program. We'll bring you back to know who is not allowing you to work. ITV will stay on that. Yeah. Why a Federal Character Commissioner, Honorable Ginika, is not allowed to check how they employ, who, the number of employment, what got to what state, and who is hiding and who is doing imbalanced employment. We will come to that. You've given us a teaser, and we'll be following that. Thanks for coming.